Better off dead. Is that what he said? It's Rhyme and Reason 806.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're here.
Hey there, Tony here. And to look at me now, you would never guess that I once worked in a disco. Yep, it's true. I was a bartender. No, I wasn't a big fancy dancer, even though, I probably could have done it. But no, I was a bartender. And I also worked as something they called a floor walker. I was one of the guys who, yeah, you guessed it, walked around the floor to make sure everybody's having a good time and most importantly, behaving because they were drinking. And at the end of the night, I sang Better Off Dead. You with me so far? Yeah, I sang Better Off Dead. Sounds like a part of the job description, right? I know. Is this confusing? Nah, it's not that confusing. Well, let me kind of clear it up a little bit. I didn't sing Better Off Dead every night, but it was often. And it was because my fellow workers found out that I could sing. And they challenged me to see if I truly did know every word to every Elton John song, because I told them I did. And they would challenge me. They would bring up some obscure song off of one of his albums that wasn't a hit. And they'd bring it up. And at the time, I knew all the words. So they wouldn't, what do they call that? Stump the band. And they didn't. And one of those songs from one of those nights was from Elton John's album called Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. That's actually a very enjoyable album. I like it. I know I've said more times than once how I disagree with Elton's life choices, we'll say. Vehemently disagree. But there was a time when I was a big fan of Elton John, and he's probably the biggest reason why I got into playing the piano as an instrument of choice. Now the song, Better Off Dead, it was the shortest song on that album. It was just 2 minutes and I think about 37 seconds, somewhere in there. But it was super catchy. I like it. And the other workers in the disco, they dared me to get on the club's huge sound system and sing the high harmonies. So I did it. And then they demanded I do it almost nightly. And, of course, I was happy to oblige. I loved to sing. The chorus to the song goes like this. 'Cause the steam's in the boiler, the coal's in the fire. If you ask how I am, then I'll just say inspired. If the thorn of a rose is the thorn in your side, then you're better off dead if you haven't yet died. Better off dead, better off dead, better off dead, better off dead. Yeah, sounds good, right? Nice little high and lilting and positive words and all that. No, but it was a catchy song. And I could say that since my disco days, I've gone through a few changes. Yeah, a lot of changes. From my musical position to my musical preferences. And now my musical musings on TonyFunderburk.com, and in my emails, you'll see that it's way different. I discovered back then, like I said, sadly, that Elton John was a homosexual. And I've felt sorry for him ever since. Not because of his life on earth. I mean, he's rich. He can do whatever he wants. He's got enough money to, whatever he wants to do, he'll be able to do it. But his eternal soul, that's a whole another story. And Elton is an old man now. He's over 70. I think he's like 74 or 5, getting into that mid-range, I think. Might be more than that. But anyway, he's getting closer and closer. That's the point, to finding out what comes next after this life. And sadly, if my worldview is right, and the evidence says that it is, Elton's soul is in great peril. And I know he's got millions of dollars, millions of fans, and I know I'm not better than him, but I do know I'm better off. I mean, I think we can agree I'm not better than you. It isn't very hard to believe, that's true. But let me say this now, and I hope you won't scoff. Though I'm not better than, I know I'm better off. I'm better off if you say there's no Jesus and no truth that ever frees us. I'm better off if you say No bright tomorrow can erase all of your sorrow. I'm better off for a multitude of reasons, an eternity of seasons. I'm better off when I leave this dark theater. I'll go live with my Creator. So I'm not better than any person who sins. No, that's an argument where no one ever wins. But try to understand and don't grumble and cough when I say trust the Lord, and you'll be better off. And you will be. Thanks for tuning in to this walk back down the old memory lane of music into the disco days. And thanks for listening to me ramble on about it a little bit. This is Tony from TonyFunderburk.com, bringing you the Rhyme and Reason podcast. This episode 806, 806 is in the can, as they say. And as I say all the time, remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life.